7 of SWA.
7. Definitely actually number 7.
Yeah, it's definitely 7, not 8. We always knew it was 7.
Yes.
Not we, I mean me. And yeah, it's first show since the pay-per-view, since Countdown. So that is always exciting.
Yeah.
We've got a collection of matches, a few from people we didn't get to see on the pay-per-view, and some that we did, including a main event, which features the Path to Glory briefcase that was won at Countdown. On the line tonight between Calvin Abueva and Yasuke Bozeman. As we get into it, though, we've got our first match. We've had a handful of these in the SWA, and we've got one of them tonight. A classic somebody's got to win match between GONZO, MCLOVIN, and Sparkles. A combined 0-5 from the two of them. See if one of them can maybe finally get some momentum on their side. We're through our first pay-per-view, and the number of people now that are missing a win is dwindling. It's time to get one of these two a win here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's it's not what you want, really, but you know, like, people are going to lose matches, and both these guys looking to right the ship, as we say every week, as we see these somebody's got to win matches. It's a real prove yourself moment here for both of these guys. Kind of claw their way up from the bottom, start climbing that ladder.
And it can be tough once you're at the bottom of those power rankings, once you're, staring up at the kind of mountain of people above you. It can be tough to get it going. So, you got to have a win here tonight if you're GONZO, MCLOVIN, or Sparkles. Frankly, at this point, when you're this far down, a loss is just even more demoralizing.
Yep. It can only get worse from here.
Just taking a look at our power rankings here in the SWA, Art Vandelay sits alone at the bottom of that list at 0-4. Sparkles is 0-3 in singles action. He does have a loss in a tag team match, but loss tonight would put him 0-4 in singles, tied down there with Vandelay. Tough to crawl back from being at the absolute bottom. Not that one or two steps up the ladder is much improvement, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, being the absolute bottom is, kind of a, I don't know, what's the opposite of a badge of honor? A badge of disgrace. It's not the title you want to carry. So yeah, being any further away from that, any bit further away from that is what you want. And that will, hopefully start kind of a snowball effect for one of these guys.
Yeah, and in the SWA, wins and losses are important. That power ranking is determining who is getting shots, who's getting opportunities at Path to Glory, at the title.
Yep.
You're not going to do it from the bottom of the rankings, but with anything, there's going to be people at the top, there's going to be people at the bottom. That's just how it goes. But if you can't consistently be competitive, at least, even if you're losing matches, if you're not really putting up much of a fight, much of an effort, then you're probably not going to be one that lasts a long time and continues to get opportunities. So
for sure,
at a certain point, you got to show up and make something out of yourself, or you're kind of just going to disappear.
And also, I think too, those guys who are remaining competitive, even if they're not winning a ton, I think if you're in that sort of wheelhouse, you're gonna win some. It'll happen. It's these guys who just haven't really come to play, who we now find at 0-4 or whatever. But here, hopefully tonight, these guys will give us a competitive match and start us off hot.
Oh, and a shot from McLovin as the ref separates him. He's, you know, whatever it takes may be his mentality tonight.
Hard whip into the corner, but Sparkles is right back on top.
Yeah, and as you were saying, you know, as Sparkles goes to the outside here, you can tell the difference too between the wrestlers here in the SWA who maybe have been on their bad luck into things, but are still putting in the work, improving themselves, getting better. You know, like you said, things are going to swing their way eventually. It's the ones that have kind of laid an egg, decided not to show up, not to train, not to work on getting better. Those are the ones that we're going to see less and less of as we go on.
Working the head a little bit here.
McLovin really in control of this match so far early. Hasn't put in a ton of damage. You know, Sparkle still has a chance to get back in this one, but pretty good showing so far from GONZO.
Now going to work on the legs. Man, this is really an intense showing here by GONZO. Not really what we've seen out of him thus far, but I gotta say I kind of like it.
Yeah, a little bit more technical prowess here. Not exactly what you'd expect, like you mentioned, but you know, it's serving him well so far. He's got the size advantage. Might have expected to see a little bit more power game, but going to the technical side.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe, you know, both these guys have some solid size. Obviously, McLovin has got a weight advantage, but they're both tall. They're both big guys. So maybe McLovin thinks that size isn't going to be a real advantage. So he's got to be a little more precise with how he executes to kind of win this match.
A little disrespect shown there from Sparkles. The slap. Not necessarily the strongest offense, but you can definitely get an opponent's head with a move like that. As a big punch takes McLovin back outside, and we've already been outside the ring a couple of times tonight.
Yep.
See if the environment comes into play here, as it does there. McLovin slamming Sparkles into the apron.
All right, McLovin getting some strikes in, and now Sparkles just runs away. Okay, you know, some might call it cowardly. I'd say it's wise.
Yeah, if you can capitalize on it, but he kind of didn't get his stuff together there, and McLovin was still able to maintain the offensive.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you know, creating space is wise, but yeah, he didn't capitalize on that space. And now McLovin working the legs again. That sort of weird inverted figure four we've seen a couple times from him tonight. Maybe going to pay dividends if he can keep working at this long enough.
Slams the knee there into the face of Sparkles. Yeah, McLovin not exactly a member of the sub gang that we knew of before this match, but maybe that's what he's looking for.
Meanwhile, we got three amigos here.
Yeah, how about a whole host of those? Sparkle's got to be feeling that one in his lower back. He's got him covered. Only a 1 count. How about the resiliency from Sparkles there? Getting out of that one.
Gonna take more than that. Gonna take more than that.
McLovin going for the pedigree. Will that finish off Sparkles and get GONZO his first win? Sure enough, the pedigree seals it. GONZO McLovin improving to 1-2. And a tough 0-4 start for Sparkles. GONZO McLovin, wire to wire.
Yeah,
pretty
really.
much in control of that one.
Just like unrelenting pressure. You know, getting in some real technical spots that we haven't seen from McLovin, but strong showing. He's going to be really pleased with that. Sparkles, meanwhile, looks very despondent as he heads to the back.
Yeah, tough match for Sparkles there, and you know, as we talked about, he drops to 0-4. didn't put up a lot of fight in that match, and I don't know. I mean, you got to wonder if that's the last we'll see of Sparkles in the SWA.
It's possible.
Next up, we got a match between Lucien Badeauux and the Machine, and you know, very similar records right now, 1-3 and 1-4 for Machine and Badeauux respectively. But you know, the way they've gotten there has been different. Badeauux looked a lot better to start. Won his first match in the inaugural tournament against Lazare Malveaux, and just really hasn't had anything to give since then.
Yeah, that's been about it for him. He's not been sort of outclassed entirely, but has not been able to really make it happen and get results. I think that first match is probably his strongest showing to date, obviously being his only victory. It still feels like maybe there's hope for him to rebound, but I don't know. Even that first match, in a way, it's kind of hung over his head because it was a weird sort of gimme. You know, Malveaux had a weird moment where he just kind of let the pressure stop, and Badeauux was able to capitalize. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Badeauux hasn't been afforded that same opportunity since then, and you know, it has resulted in a quadruplet of losses so far. We'll see if he can go to 2-4, or if he'll drop to 1-5 tonight. On the other side, it's the Machine, the SWA's tallest. He's got a full foot on Lucien Badeauux, standing at 6'11", 275 from Death Valley, California. And,
that is a big man.
For the Machine, he's sitting at 1-3, and I gotta say, of all the people on the lower end of the power rankings, for me, he's perhaps the most surprising. Looked really good in the tournament, despite coming away with a loss in the first round. Looked like he was going to pull off a victory against the Boulder, who ended up having a deep run. And, you know, since then, it's been kind of hit or miss. He's one of the hardest workers in the business and just hasn't been able to put it together in the ring to secure a lot of wins yet. But he's got a lot of power, a lot of his training focused behind the striking ability, the power behind those punches, and the speed of those punches. And when he can execute it, it's very effective.
Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting one because he's had a couple of instances of, you know, really, really near misses, right? So he's had, I think, 2 times now where he tries to execute that Machine takedown that we've heard so much about, and it just gets ducked, and then he, you know, loses momentum from there, right? Like it feels like that's the moment, and for whatever reason doesn't go his way, and then his enemies are able to capitalize on it. And that, again, is going to hang over him. That's got to be frustrating, I can only imagine, but he's got to be able to make it happen if he wants to see some success here in the SWA.
Yeah, that's the kind of the thing he needs to get turned around here, and you know, maybe he can do that against Badeauux, get himself
immediately
a victory, get going.
Just out of the gate with a big suplex and some strikes early on. The power game in full effect here from the Machine.
Nice counter there. Drapes Badeauux over the ropes. Now using the leg to apply some pressure. A methodical pace early on for the Machine, really letting Badeauux get to his feet. Now that could be a problem.
Speaking of problems, don't try to lift a man who's that much larger than you.
Yeah, not working. Taking out the leg, though, a little bit more effective. Gets the Machine off his feet.
Really working that back, which is an interesting choice, but I suppose it's a large muscle group.
And the Machine back to his feet after that second kick. Didn't seem like he even felt it. It sent Badeauux to the outside. Just tossing him.
Man, probably pulled some hair out on that one. Oh, wow. An interesting little leg lariat takedown. That's creative. And a headbutt? Wow. These strikes.
Strong headbutt from the Machine there.
Very stiff work here from the Machine, and now what are we going to see? Sure
Dumped
enough,
off the turnbuckle.
little snake eyes there. And a nerve hold. I mean, this guy's got some big hands. I imagine that's probably really painful.
Gotta imagine he's got a pretty strong grip.
Wow, I gotta say, the Machine has come to play tonight, but Lucien BADEAUX not going down without a fight. Oh,
Big overhand chop and a discus lariat.
my goodness.
Took him right off his feet. Stomps the face for good measure. Doe's still got a little bit of fight in him, though. Nice elbow there to get back on his feet. And he's just right back down, though.
And he looks out on his feet. I know he's gotten in a couple strikes here, but I don't like the way this is looking for Lucien BADEAUX.
He's going to go for a cover here, though. He's got Machine in the center of the ring. He might have got a 1 count.
Maybe, if you're being... If the
Big
ref
right hand.
for once.
And the Machine might have just put him away. That looked like the takedown punch. BADEAUX flat on his back. Machine with a cover. 1, 2, and 3. What a win for the Machine. The Machine takedown.
We see its efficacy there. We see why all the hype was there, because he clearly, if he can land that punch, it's game over. But the problem has been consistently landing it. So look there, Machine showing some good sportsmanship. Appreciates a battle well fought. A couple of competitors just looking to, be the best at what they do, and we see here good sportsmanship. I like that. It's classy.
Solid win for the Machine. Moves to 2 and 3. Lucien BADEAUX drops to 1 and 5, and still tough going for the Paris, France native. But the Machine, that Machine takedown, doing the trick for him tonight. We go into some more kind of middle of the power ranking matches here. But so we go into a match between Merciless Mason Jones and Painwrecker. Couple of people that we saw featured at Countdown. Mason Jones had a pretty big win, kicking us off in that 4-man elimination match. Kind of a surprise victory at the end, putting away El Puma to get the victory in that one in the final elimination. He's 1-1 in singles and 1-1 in multi-man matches, including that big pay-per-view win. Painwrecker sitting at 2 and 2, and he was not successful in that Path to Glory match at Countdown. Looking to get himself going back in the right direction tonight against a Mason Jones that's been, a little up and down, but when he's hot, he's been hot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he started really hot, and obviously he's got a couple losses in there in his 4 matches, but I think even in those losses, he's looked good. Obviously, the win at the pay-per-view is huge. That match was hotly contested. Jones and Puma, a little back and forth. Puma really gave everything he had. He threw it all at Jones, and Mason Jones just found a way to stay alive and get the pin himself. So, I mean, big credit there. I think he's really come in and looked very strong early on. Certainly, like someone to watch. Painwrecker, meanwhile, you mentioned he wasn't successful in the Path to Glory match, but I don't think that that's necessarily a knock. I mean, that match, as we saw, was a bit chaotic, but only one person can win that ultimately, and I think he had a good showing. It's the odds are against you in any of those sorts of multi-man matches like that. But Painwrecker also shown that he can get the job done when it's necessary. So, really curious to see what this one will look like at the end here.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't, outclassed or outmatched in that Path to Glory match, but the same kind of can be said for Mason Jones. 7 matches had victors at Countdown, and Mason Jones was one of them, and that's a pretty good pretty good star on your resume if you're trying to build some momentum. Whereas PAINWRECKER, coming off a loss, he's looking to get the momentum going back in his direction after getting that Path to Glory opportunity.
Yeah.
A loss there doesn't hurt him a whole lot, but he still wants to get going, maybe get another shot at that briefcase and a title down the line.
Yeah, and I think if I'm PAINWRECKER, I don't even consider that I need to get the momentum back. I think I tell myself, that was one thing. Singles competition like this is another. So we're just gonna I'm just gonna get the momentum going. Period. I wouldn't factor in that loss. You can't let that bring you down. You had a shot. You didn't come out on top, and that's fine. It's gonna happen sometimes. So I think for PAINWRECKER, the trick here is you're looking forward. Focus on this opponent tonight. Don't dwell on how you couldn't beat 6 other people at the same time, because not a lot of people can.
Yeah, and any way you look at it, whoever wins this match is going to have a pretty good win under their belt here. Jones or PAINWRECKER, it's a good match. It's an even match. Hopefully we have a pretty well contested match. Big Hurricane Rana start for Jones.
Yeah, hot start. Feeling jumpy there. A little float over neck breaker to respond from PAINWRECKER. And already this is looking like a back and forth affair.
Little red versus blue action here as well.
Yeah, the ripped pants versus the bike shorts. Big pancake there.
Strength of PAINWRECKER on display already. He's got the weight advantage. Jones has the height and reach advantage. About 4-inch height advantage for Jones. PAINWRECKER's looking at about 35 pounds on Merciless Mason. Wrenching on the neck here. Jones gets out of it.
A little electric chair. Okay, just dropping him on his back. That electric chair is risky. It's a scary height to fall from. Another drop kick. A couple times we've seen him go to the corner and land a nice drop kick. Good stiff contact there from PAINWRECKER early on.
Yeah, and I like the pace that PAINWRECKER is keeping so far. He's been one move after another. They don't all work, but he's going top.
Wow. Rope. Big time superplex from PAINWRECKER there.
Sure enough, and look at him. He's
relentless.
Right back to his feet and just ready for more. Not letting up.
Wow, big float over. My goodness, he really is just nonstop. This is the key sometimes. I mean, these guys
two for Jones.
This is the key. We talked about how Jones weathered so much from El Puma in that match at the pay-per-view. It was an elimination match, so everyone else got pinned and eliminated, and then down to the final 2, Puma threw everything he had at Jones and couldn't get it done because Jones just managed to stay alive. And I think PAINWRECKER's done his homework here, so he knows you just have to give this relentless onslaught, and you cannot let him breathe because he's hard enough to take down already. So if you don't maintain control, you're in trouble.
And even then, just a second ago, we saw him with a little bit of a taunt, but it's a quick taunt, and he's right back on the offensive. Misses the European uppercut there. As Jones swinging back to his direction. Oh, look at PAINWRECKER, though, fighting his way out of that carry. And right back at it.
Big brain buster there by PAINWRECKER, and just continues this relentless onslaught.
Now going for the cover, ref slow to the count. Finally counting 1-2 and shoulder up for Jones. The resiliency on display once again. SWA fans not going to be too pleased with the count from the ref there.
Gut buster there. Let's see what else he's got in mind. Pulling the arm out of socket a little bit here. That cannot feel good.
And I have been impressed so far with PAINWRECKER. As we've mentioned, just the non-stop offense. He's on the receiving end of a little bit right now, but he's been in control for most of this match.
Jones looking to catch his breath here with a nice rest hold, cranking on that neck.
We've already seen the brain buster. Will he bust out the kill switch to put away Jones, or will Jones land that discus clothesline and maybe put an end to PAINWRECKER?
Oh, one-legged drop kick there, and another one.
How about a couple of them?
And a big swinging neck breaker.
A lot of momentum swinging towards Jones here.
There's that blue thunder bomb.
A lot of impact on the back center of the ring. Jones has the cover now. PAINWRECKER down and gets the kick out at 2.
Oh, man. This is suddenly a Mason Jones match.
Yeah, it's turned into a back and forth that has swung in Jones's favor pretty heavily.
You got to put him away when you can.
Big
there it is.
Discus clothesline, and PAINWRECKER is out center of the ring. Has he got anything left, or has Jones put him away? 1, 2, and shoulder up for PAINWRECKER. Surprised that he got out of that one.
Yeah, that clothesline turned him inside out, folded him in half. He was a rag doll. I don't know how he kicked out of that pin, but
it looked
he's
like
got to
he
get
didn't have
something
anything
going
left,
here.
But here we go. Another float over DDT.
Wow. Wow.
Now PAINWRECKER looking for a cover.
Fire.
2 count, and Jones out at 2.5.
Ooh.
2
Had me on edge there.
PAINWRECKER can't believe it.
Now PAINWRECKER looking to do a little something here. What's he got in mind? There it is, the kill switch by PAINWRECKER.
He's tried the brain buster, going to the kill switch. Is that enough to put away Jones? Yes, it is.
There it is.
PAINWRECKER opening up the full bag of tricks, weathering the storm there in the second half of that match, but what a showing from PAINWRECKER. Showed exactly why he deserved to be in that Path to Glory qualifier.
Yep.
At Countdown, and fought through the resiliency of Mason Jones, who survived that brain buster but was put away with the kill switch. Nice win for PAINWRECKER here tonight.
Yeah, and I gotta say, both these guys obviously great wrestlers. I think we saw, a bit of fire from both. But as much as we talked about Mason Jones being able to sort of weather any storm and how you gotta just, unload on him, PAINWRECKER did the exact same thing in this match. He was in control. Jones kind of, managed to get the momentum for just long enough to unload a bit of offense, and we thought it was over, but PAINWRECKER said, no, sir, this is my match to win, and he came back and handled his business.
Found a way, showed us a little bit of both, perhaps the best sort of strategy we've seen employed. PAINWRECKER really kept the pace up, one thing to the next, point A to point B, and like you said, we also saw a little resiliency from him, a little bit of offense and defense from PAINWRECKER. That's, I don't know, for my money, that's probably the best match we've seen from PAINWRECKER in the SWA.
I think I would agree. Yeah, that was a really, consummate performance. He really looked like he was in control, knew what he wanted to do. He had a game plan. I was really impressed by that performance.
As we move into our next match, we've got another participant in that Path to Glory match. SANKARI featured in this one, taking on Captain Tiger Marsh.
Yeah, SANKARI, just an interesting character. We've talked about his sort of strange ramblings and in finish here and there. Overall, been a great competitor so far, even in that Path to Glory match. Looked really great. Tiger Marsh, though, had an interesting run so far.
Yeah, he kind of started a little lower down the standings, and he's been on a bit of a run. We mentioned in the last match for Jones, getting a win to pay-per-view at Countdown is a big deal. Well, Captain Tiger Marsh got a one-on-one win against FTS at Countdown. So he's coming off a pretty big victory there, and looking to continue it here. If he gets a victory here, he'll move to 4-2 in singles action. It's a pretty good record, and up there in the top 10 in rankings, perhaps, with a win tonight.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty impressive turnaround, I gotta say. He like you said, he kind of started with he was a bit underwhelming, I suppose, but he has really rebounded and made a statement, I think. Whether or not he can continue to assert that sort of dominance here against Sankari remains to be seen. Sankari, a bit of a wild card, as you might imagine, as you watch him enter the arena here. Bit unpredictable. Great striker, though. Can really kind of turn things around on a dime by just clocking you.
And for Sankari, he's 3-1 in singles action. His only loss coming to the Boulder in that inaugural tournament for the SWA World Championship. So pretty good in singles action so far. Just not able to come away with a victory at Countdown in that 6-man ladder match. See if he can get himself another victory here against a surging Tiger Marsh, who's been moving his way back up the power rankings lately.
Little chain wrestling to start.
Right back at it. Sankari in control. Nice takedown into a headlock. Marsh counters back to his feet, though, into a headlock of his own.
This is interesting, I gotta say. I mentioned Sankari, really strong striking background. That's his primary skill set. Marsh, does a little bit of everything, but I can't say I expected that sort of technical chain wrestling out of these two, at least to start the match, but I'm impressed. They got the skills.
Yeah, we've been surprised a bit by technical wrestling from a few different people tonight. Big right hand from Marsh there, though.
And we're seeing there, Marsh tends to kind of favor just a power approach. He's just sort of aggressive. I'm just going to beat you down. It doesn't have to be just strikes. It can be slams. It can be this. It can be that. But it's just kind of, downhill offense, to steal a term from football.
Ooh, a kick there from Sankari.
Man. But downhill offense doesn't work well when you're the one that's downhill. So he's going to have to get control here if he wants to have a chance against Sankari.
Dragging Sankari back center of the ring here.
Oh, wow. What a release. Suplex there.
Sankari taking that hit and then the kick and right back to his feet.
Back body drop.
Yeah, catches a back body drop for his trouble, though. A lot of impact to the back so far for Sankari. We'll see if that comes into play for Marsh, who's tossed out of the ring. And how about a back foot from Sankari? I guess the back's feeling okay.
Yeah, maybe he's stretching it out a little bit there. You never know. Use that centrifugal force. Working on the legs now.
Strong series of strikes there with the lower leg from Sankari.
Again, back to those legs.
Might want to stick with it. Marsh catching a couple of punches there. And
really a back and forth affair, though. I gotta say, I'm surprised here.
Sankari using the ropes to his advantage to get back in and gain some control of the match here.
And there's a cutter.
Strong cutter going for the cover is Sankari. Marsh down with a 1-2 and a got out. Last second. Close call there. Near fall for Sankari with that cutter.
Sankari not happy about the ref's counting speed there. He was telling him to count a little faster. The cutter can come out of nowhere and it's dangerous, but it only works if you can get the ref to actually count all
Oh,
three.
rolling elbow just lights out for Marsh. That's
Yeah,
got to be it for him.
I think that's game over. That was...
Oh, and the shoulder up from Marsh. He was out of that count quicker than he was the cutter.
impressive. I don't know what to say. That he really looked like he was done there. Maybe it's a matter of time. Going for another pin here. Using the ropes, too.
Sankari's up on the ropes, but Marsh presses his way out after 2. Good fight from Marsh to stay alive in this one. Really looked like Sankari had put it away.
Now Sankari trying to figure out what to do next. What else has he got in that bag of tricks?
This is where we saw earlier PAINWRECKER effectively kind of kept the offense going. Can Sankari do the same? Or can Marsh take advantage?
Draping DDT off the second rope there. Marsh looking to kind of get in a few licks while he's on top.
Going for a cover of his own, but Sankari's out at 1.
It's not going to be enough. You got to do more than that, Marsh. Tuning up the band.
Setting up Sankari. Here is Marsh all the way across for a big super kick. Down is Sankari. He's got a 2 count and the shoulders up.
Wow. Heard that one in the back of the arena, but no dice for Marsh tonight. Got to do more.
Some of their best offense on both sides and both men getting out of it.
Oh, wow, and he busts him open with a drop toe hold.
Sure enough, he did, but Marsh catches the Hurricane Rana right into a power bomb.
Great display of the power that Tiger Marsh brings to the table. He's a big man. He's a strong man. Sankari obviously, got some strength himself, but he's a very lean, sort of sinewy type. Tiger Marsh, just a big, giant man with a lot of power. Cranking on the neck right now.
A lot of pressure applied to the neck there. Eventually just lets Sankari out of it. He's going to stay on the offensive here.
He looks a little upset there.
Ooh.
It may not take too kindly to having his face busted open.
And that's not going to help matters at all. Sent airborne off the knee of Sankari. What a shot. Marsh with a big kick out of 2, staying alive here somehow, and another backflip from Sankari.
Sankari's getting himself excited here. Couple of clotheslines. What is he seeing here? Ducks one, and yet another one.
Another.
Man, my goodness.
And he had Marsh center of the ring, but instead he tries to get him to his feet. Marsh is busted open pretty good now.
Sankari's just looking to hurt him now. I don't think he wanted to pin him yet. I think he wanted to hurt him.
Look at the leverage applied on the arm, the left arm of Marsh there. Sankari using all of his body weight against him.
And I gotta ask here, at what point does the ref stop this match for, failure to... Oh, my goodness.
Just when you think he might be out of it, Marsh finds his way into another power bomb.
Another one of these draping DDTs.
Oh, and
now,
look at that. Sankari busted open.
We're going to need to sanitize the whole ring after this match is over.
No love lost between these two, and Sankari is still out at 2. And Marsh looking for another one of those super kicks as Sankari.
Same song, second verse here, tuning up the band, and he connects on the chin.
Wobbles to his feet and connects solid. Sankari down center of the ring. Could this be it for Marsh? Yes, it is.
There it is. Tiger Marsh with an impressive performance.
A blood-soaked Tiger Marsh comes away victorious. These two laid into each other. And hands Sankari his first singles loss since the inaugural tournament. What a match between these two. Captain Tiger Marsh has all of the momentum on his side lately.
I gotta say, that was a really surprising result. I mean, it just looked like that was Sankari's match. Not quite from bell to bell, but, you know, I'd say 85% of it. And Marsh just, you know, made it count. He got his licks in and made them count.
He certainly kept at it. The resiliency on display. Both men got in a ton of offense and stayed in there for quite a long time. But it's Marsh with that crimson mask coming away with victorious.
Boy, get that guy some stitches or something. My goodness.
Definitely going to need a trip to the SWA medical tent, room, office, whatever there is backstage.
And I think we're going to, you know, need to take a short ad break here to sanitize the ring. Just make sure everything's up to snuff because they bled everywhere.
Lots of blood and a lightly covered ring. Doesn't mesh too well, but we move into tag team action, our first non-singles match of the night. We've got the Quinn brothers, Corey and Matthew, taking on Fuerza Mayor, Domingo Cervantes, and El Puma.
Yeah, and the this particular combination of Quinns did not score a victory at Countdown pay-per-view. You know, we had those two separate matches featuring Quinn brother combinations, and these guys ended up losing, which was a big surprise, I think, at least to them and to, you know, some of us in the audience. But looking to get back on their feet here. Remind everyone that the Quinns own the tag division here in the SWA. Meanwhile, Fuerza Mayor, I believe, are 1-0 in tag competition, looking to cement themselves as well, with rumors that there might be some sort of tag title on the horizon. Everybody looking for a piece of the action here.
The Quinn brothers as a whole sit at 3-1 in tag action, but as you mentioned, Corey and Matthew 1-1, suffering a loss at the hands of Deadfire, particularly Diego Mercer and Eric Draven at Countdown, avoiding the Quinn brothers sweep, not allowing them to get 2 wins in one pay-per-view. So 3-1 as a whole, 1-1 as this pairing. And you know, if this particular pairing doesn't work out, it'll be interesting to see if we see the Quinn brothers kind of mix up their tag units. They've primarily focused on Corey and Matthew, Jamie and Noah. Maybe Jamie and Noah need to kind of split some of the talent up, see if something else works better. Maybe there's some better chemistry with a different brother, or maybe Corey and Matthew just had an off night and they get a win here tonight.
Yeah, you know, it could go either way. I don't think it's a bad idea to maybe look at some sort of mix and match, but it's you know, I think maybe tonight will be a big indicator of what's to come in that regard.
And for Cervantes and Puma, you know, as you mentioned, only one tag match. They won that one handily. The trouble for these two has been the really how successful Domingo Cervantes has been in the SWA in singles action. Sitting at 3-1, he was in the main event at Countdown, and not only was he in the main event, he was in the final 2 of the Elimination Chamber. Was defeated by the still undefeated SWA world champ Warren Windham, but Cervantes, rightfully so, at the top of the power rankings. One of the best in the business right now, and that's taken him away from tag action. But these two are a pretty deadly combination when they have been able to get in the ring.
Yeah, meanwhile, Puma not had quite such a strong showing in singles action. I think he's like 1-2 or 1-3 now, if you include the multi-man matches. But these guys have looked like a strong team in tag action here, and we've talked before about you know tag teams who are actual teams who work as a unit versus tag teams who are sort of cobbled together and maybe don't have a lot of experience working together, and the advantage that can provide. This is one of the first times we're really seeing a couple of real teams. We saw that at Countdown, and of course the Quinn brothers didn't do so well there. So maybe it'll be a similar result here. Maybe it'll be something different. Who knows?
Yeah, tough to say. The sort of more official tag teams have definitely fared better against the less official pairings, with the exception of a Yates-Bennett win against a Deadfire, which ended up giving Yates and Bennett the sort of better booking, if you will, at Countdown. Deadfire came back and got a victory on the pay-per-view, so really kind of helping themselves out. And, keeping the tag division still in the mix. Looked like the Quinns were just going to kind of run away with it, but, even though Jamie and Noah are still 2-0 and undefeated, the Quinns as a whole do have a loss now. So it's still wide open as to who will perhaps be at the top of the hill when a eventual tag set of titles is on the line and in SWA.
Yeah, I mean, even this match so far has been a little back and forth. We saw our first tag here, getting Matthew Quinn in. We talk frequently about wanting to have the freshest man in the ring. But this really has been back and forth. I think Cervantes has held his own against both of the Quinn brothers so far. Been, strong showing, and I think pretty soon he's going to want to get El Puma involved here. See if he can maybe, take advantage of that freshest guy in the ring aspect.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught out in the ring for too long in a tag match for sure. Cervantes, I'd be pretty safe to argue he's maybe the most gifted wrestler in the match, but that doesn't mean he can do it all by himself. He does have a victory in singles action against Corey Quinn, so familiar with Corey, but not really looking for a 2-on-1 handicap here. Got to use his ally, and so far going well for Puma since he's tagged in.
Yeah, I mean, wrestling isn't always this way, but tag team, specifically tag team wrestling, is a team sport. It's right in the name, so you gotta remember that you can't do it all yourself and lean on your teammate. That's what makes a good team, is two guys who can work together, two or more guys, I suppose, in the case of the Quinns, who can work together and balance each other out, help overcome any weaknesses and all of that. So we got to see which team is going to function as a team tonight in a way that helps them succeed. So far, the Quinns got a couple of tags, looking to control the momentum a bit, and maybe doing so. It's still early.
As the freshest man, but Puma with a nice counter.
Nice little head scissors takedown there, and he's looking to get the crowd behind him too.
Yeah, looking for a bit of a crowd rally. Elbow drop there on Corey specifically. And Puma chasing Corey right out to the ring, but he's drop kicked into the apron.
Ooh, that's the toughest part of the ring. Big pop-up Hurricane Rana there on the outside from Puma. And right back on it is Corey Quinn.
These two up to a 6 count now. Got to be mindful of the count out. Oh, slams him head first off the ring post. Now sends Corey back in. 8 count on the outside, and Corey dives for Matthew, gets the tag, and probably a good thing for the Quinns, because Corey was a bit dazed after going head first into the post. Bunch of nice drop kicks there from Quinn. Puma rolls out though. Nice takedown there.
A little okey doke there from Puma. I like that. That's clever.
And a wise decision getting Cervantes in against Matthew Quinn here. Cervantes has been out for a bit. And with Corey Quinn down on the outside, still not up on the apron.
Wow, telling him what's up there with after that big clubbing blow to the back. Cervantes really looking to assert his dominance here. Tags Puma in a little tag team offense here.
Big gut punch there from Puma.
Another Hurricane Rana by Puma.
Corey Quinn has finally made his way back to the apron. Is once again eligible for a tag.
And a blockbuster, but Matthew Quinn with a reversal.
Puma gets Cervantes back in. You know, it was
Where's the Mayor? Really using their tag team offense here.
Yeah, nice bit of teamwork there. Both of them having a short stint in the ring. Now Cervantes back in. They really want to keep Matthew Quinn out there, but he may be looking for a tag here, but Cervantes kicks his way out of the corner.
It's the #1 rule in tag team wrestling. Actually, probably number 2. Number 1 is to cut the ring in half. You want to control which side of the ring. But beyond that, you definitely want to make sure that you keep one opponent in the ring. You know, you limit the tags by your opponents. Here we see a little dance.
Oh, and how
Signature.
about a couple of them, but Quinn gives him a punch there and taking him for a ride now.
Indeed, that's 3 dragon suplexes in a row. Or
Not
butterfly,
so
rather,
sure
excuse
that
me.
I don't know if I've seen Matthew Quinn do that move before.
That's really a signature move of Cervantes. I think maybe he's messing with his head a little bit. Took that
Yeah.
dance move personally, and
Might have been what we saw, but no one home in the corner. And Cervantes, though, goes to the outside from the clothesline from Matthew Quinn.
man, this match getting personal.
Big right from Domingo.
Whoa. Put all his weight behind that.
We haven't really mentioned 6'9", 320 Domingo, easily the biggest wrestler in this match.
And here we go.
And
Getting
there
one of
it
his own.
is. I don't think Cervantes was very happy about how that happened to him. Delivers a trio of his own to Matthew Quinn. Now he's looking for a cover.
I think he said, "Let me show you how to do a butterfly suplex."
Ref down, 2 count before Corey breaks it up. Puma couldn't get there in
Oh.
time.
Putting in a little extra offense on Corey Quinn there while he's in the ring.
2 of them going to work. Yeah, and Corey Quinn is back down on the outside, not up on the apron. See if Fuerza Mayor can capitalize here, but Quinn,
With a package pile driver.
solid package pile driver on Domingo, is going for the cover. But Puma quickly breaks it up with a 1 count. And then lays out Matthew Quinn before taking his spot back on the apron. Looks like Corey Quinn is at least sitting upright now. And Matthew not happy about Puma's interference, and Puma doesn't care one bit. Gives him a right hand.
And he's just dazed standing in the middle of the ring there. What do you think Cervantes is going to do here? Need something big.
Nice backbreaker on the knee there.
And a jawbreaker in return.
Corey Quinn making his way back to the apron finally.
I imagine Matthew Quinn would love a tag here, but he's just out of luck.
He has been in for a long time, and look at this, the
Big
strength.
wheelbarrow senton there from Domingo Cervantes. My goodness.
And Puma's got a 2 count, but Corey breaks it up. A bit surprised to see Puma able to lift Cervantes for that move.
Over the top there in a pin combo.
Oh, and Corey's able to break it up again before Cervantes can get there. Before Puma can get the cover, but Matthew Quinn is just out.
Puma going up top. What's he thinking here?
Looking for the moon stomp. Nobody
And he
home.
misses. Oh, poor Puma with the miss on that. And wow, super kick.
Big super kick. Down. Cervantes breaks it up at 2 just barely. That could have been the end for Puma.
Ref needs to get control of this match. This is descending into chaos here.
Ref is getting Corey Quinn out of the match, but there's been a lot of interference from both sides. Cervantes is just out in the ring, and Matthew Quinn has got Puma set up for another package pile driver down on the top of the head. Cervantes trying to get to his feet to help his teammate. 2 count, and Matthew Quinn comes away with the pinfall. Cervantes couldn't get back up, and El Puma down to that package pile driver from Matthew Quinn.
And I really think that this match was decided on all of the broken up pins. I think if you really look at it here, I think this is a great example of this wheelbarrow senton there. I think that could have done it. Right after that, Puma got a great pin combo. And both pins broken up by Corey Quinn, who just had some great teamwork. And then here, Puma misses that moon stomp, and everything from there on out was done.
And the Quinns get back on the right track. 2-1 now for Corey and Matthew, as the Quinns as a whole move to 4-1. Fuerza Mayor drops to 1-1. A tough loss there. It looked like they were in control, and then unfortunately just a bad series of events put Cervantes out just enough. Matthew landed that package pile driver and was able to put away El Puma there. The good news for the SWA is we got 2 more great matches coming up. We got the Boulder taking on Triple G, a rematch of a match that happened in the inaugural tournament and of a pairing that was in the Elimination Chamber at Countdown. Triple G is not held back at all. His distaste for Tupuola. We'll see if the Boulder can shut him up here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Gray has for several weeks now been on his whole tirade and campaign against any wrestler who is larger than what he considers to be the ideal size and weight and body type and all that. I think chief amongst his targets has been Tupuola here, the Boulder, and they've had a couple of encounters between that match and the tournament, and then as part of the Elimination Chamber, I think Boulder's ready to kind of show Gray what's up, but there's only one way to find out who's going to come out on top.
And both men not able to come away with a victory in the tournament, or in the tournament also, but in the Elimination Chamber at Countdown. Boulder ended up being one of the first 2 in the ring. Tough spot to be if you're trying to survive an elimination match like that.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And here we go with the sassy trombone and the longest entrance maybe ever.
And for Triple G, 1-1 in multi-man matches, unable to come away with a victory at the pay-per-view, but he's got one of the best singles records so far, 5-1. His only loss was to the Boulder. And otherwise, he's just running up a string of victories, and he's got, with a win tonight, he would join Warren Windham as the only wrestlers to have 6 singles wins, whereas a win for the Boulder would push him up to a tie with Triple G as the only 2 with 5 victories. So pretty big implications for the top of the power rankings right now. As Triple G maybe fell a little bit after the pay-per-view. A little bit better showings from Domingo Cervantes and the Ace in that match, and looking to get back up where he believes he belongs, right up at the top. try to get himself a shot at Warren Wyndham. Victory against the Boulder here would do him some good, and for the Boulder, victory against Triple G would do him some good. So,
yeah, this is really a competition between a couple of top-level guys who have been in that picture, looking to snag the gold off of Warren Wyndham. Neither been able to do it. Only Tupuola has had a chance at the title directly, other than the Elimination Chamber, which they were both in. But either guy is a reasonable contender for the title.
For the Boulder, 6'10", he's the second tallest SWA superstar in his 380-pound billing. Easily the heaviest superstar in the SWA. For Triple G, if you listen to him, his 6'4", 240 is the ideal height and weight of a wrestler in the SWA. We'll see if he can use it effectively here against the Boulder.
Already utilizing that weight, Boulder is. Shoulder tackle, dropping on the arm. He's really leaning into the I'm heavier than you aspect of this match, it seems.
And some headbutts to the arm there. It's the same kind of stuff we saw Boulder use to get his victory against Triple G in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, he knows what to do, but, Gray is wily. He's a clever wrestler. He never lets an opportunity pass him by. I think you can't underestimate him. As you mentioned, with a 5-1 record, he's sitting very pretty, very high up in the standings. He has demonstrated that not only is he loud and audacious and obnoxious, but he's actually, backed it up. And I think you got to respect that. I think Boulder does, but I just, I want to point out that it's important to respect that because he's a formidable foe.
Yeah, behind the perhaps annoyance that a lot of people might have, obviously a capable wrestler and a talented individual. I just like a lot of the fans in the SWA wish that he didn't know that and kind of bask in it so much.
Yeah, I can't say I want to root for him, but he has gotten results when they matter. But the question is, can he get a result tonight? Big German suplex. Impressive feat of strength there by Gray, lifting the heaviest man in the SWA for a German suplex. Only a 2 count to show for it, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight going over the head of Triple G there. Strength on display. Kind of been in control thus far after some early offense from the Boulder. Curse of the announcer there, though, as Boulder counters right back to his feet and sends Triple G to the outside with a big clothesline.
Yeah, I think you jinxed that one.
Sure we'll hear about that from the post-match interview from Triple G, regardless of how this match goes.
Gets back in the ring and just wants to taunt Boulder. Not going to bother to throw him back in the ring. And indeed
Boulder
gets dragged out.
Grabbing his legs and just dragging him back outside. That's one way to bring the fight to you.
Hey, man, you poke the bear. You got to be willing to accept the consequences.
Triple G really wanted to keep this one in the ring, though.
Looking for a figure 4 leg lock here. Classic offensive maneuver. Really painful to experience. And maybe reversing it here. Indeed, reversing it on Gray, but he seems to worm his way out before too much damage is done to that knee.
Big lifting knee strike there from Triple G. Knocks down the Boulder and he drags him over to the ropes. Gets a 2 count. Might have wasted time there.
Thought he was maybe going to use those ropes and try to get a little leverage on the pin, but he opted for the more honest choice. Oh, just thrown to the ground by Boulder. Wow, and a reverse power slam there. Very crisp. Just dropped him on his face.
Now Boulder is looking for the cover. He's got a 2 count. Triple G manages to get the shoulder up there. Stay alive in this one.
Now getting a little break here, catching his breath while we crank on the neck of one gorgeous Garrison Gray.
Little jumping knee in the corner there.
What's Gray thinking here?
Looking for
back
that
to the figure four
once more. Focusing on the legs of the much larger, much taller opponent could be a good strategy. We didn't see this from Gray in the tournament match.
And yet again, Boulder rolling it over and reversing the pressure. Gray able to work out, but he's holding that knee again.
And we haven't seen Gray go to the Gray mass yet. Move that has put away a number of individuals. Interesting tactic here to try to submit the Boulder. Neutralize a lot of his weight, keep him on the ground, and do some damage to the legs. That'll certainly help eliminate some of the size advantage Boulder has. But just curious not to see him go to a move that's been effective for him.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Maybe it is about size advantage. Gray is always. I mentioned he's wily, he's clever. I think he's very strategic in the way he approaches matches, and I think maybe that's exactly it. With the big spike DDT there by Gray, I think maybe he's thinking go to the figure four because it will, like you said, sort of eliminate the height advantage, the size advantage. It keeps Boulder on the ground because if his legs are torn up and beat down, there's only so much you can do. But here we see a big choke slam.
A lot of elevation from the 6'10" Boulder.
That's a long way to fall.
And he's going for the cover. He's got Triple G right where he wants him, but it's a 2 count.
Not going to be enough. What else has Boulder got in the tank? He's got something on his mind here. Cradle lift, and there it is.
Cradle lift.
Stomping around.
Samoan drop, center of the ring. Rolling him over for the cover, and as he put away Triple G here, 1-2 and shoulder up for Triple G.
Not yet. Gray is not done yet.
Not yet and not close, but the Boulder setting him up for another one.
Again with that cradle lift. My goodness.
And if 1 wasn't enough, how about 2? That could be it for Triple G. Down for the count. 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, sir.
Tupuola with back-to-back cradle lifts, Samoan drops, puts away gorgeous Garrison Gray.
And what a match on both counts, honestly. That was a great showing. Gray with a lot of really, really smart offense, great approach to this match, like we talked about using the figure four leg lock, but ultimately Boulder gets the upper hand and is able to execute not 1 but 2 of those cradle lift Samoan drops after that big gnarly choke slam and just put him away.
Yeah, honestly surprised that Triple G got out of that pinfall after the choke slam, after that first cradle lift Samoan drop. Took a second one, but the Boulder was just right there, ready and waiting for it. And
you see Gray laid out on the outside of the ring. I mean, he might need to be carried to the back. He managed to get out of the ring, but he didn't make it very far after that. I think he's toast.
Statement win for Boulder. He's now 2-0 against Triple G. I don't know what else he's got to prove against Garrison Gray, who claimed to be injured at the pay-per-view for Countdown.
There's always an excuse, isn't there?
Triple G's got 2 losses now in singles action, both of them coming at the hands of the Boulder. I don't think there's anything more decisive than that, but we have an exciting main event tonight. Yasuke Bozeman, who was one of the more interesting entrants into the Elimination Chamber at Countdown, had secured himself into the Path to Glory match, got elevated into the main event at the pay-per-view with an impressive win over Benjamin Goldenberg, and had a good run. He put Warren Windham through 2 pods at the Elimination Chamber. Still wasn't enough, but a great showing from Bozeman in a match that he perhaps wasn't even supposed to be in. And for the Beast, for Calvin Abueva, he came away victorious in that Path to Glory match. And, Bozeman has something to say about that, as, he thinks if he was in that match as it was originally planned, he'd be the one with this briefcase.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because Bozeman qualifies for the Path to Glory, and then he has that match against Goldenberg, a couple weeks before the pay-per-view, where he's, sort of punching above his weight a little bit, everyone thought, and then he really gets a statement win, and it ends up leading to him being booked in the Chamber and Goldenberg being booked in the Path to Glory match. So Goldenberg, has a good showing, doesn't end up winning the briefcase. Bozeman had a great showing in the Chamber, does not come away with the title, but now, he's got sort of a claim, you might say, to this Path to Glory briefcase, because he didn't actually ever lose that match, and I think he really would love a shot at the title. Maybe the shortest path to that is to beat Abueva here and get the briefcase.
Yeah, he put Windham through the pod twice.
It was unbelievable.
You know that he's got to be looking to get himself in a 1-1 match with Warren Windham. A great showing in the Chamber match, but there was a lot of people in that match, and we talked about that earlier. That's a tougher situation to win. So for him, a win tonight gives him a chance, the opportunity to guarantee a title shot if he wants it.
Yep.
And that's the perhaps the most interesting part about that Path to Glory briefcase. It guarantees you a shot at the title if you elect to use it. But every time that you are booked while you haven't used it, it is on the line. It is on the line tonight. If Yasuke Bozeman wins, he takes it away from Abueva. Abueva has to win to retain in order to get a title shot down the line.
Yeah, this briefcase is defended like a title belt, and anytime the holder of the briefcase is in a match, it is on the line. That is a unique stipulation here to the SWA, but we like to keep it interesting, so. Oh. Big combo backdrop Uranagi there from the Beast to start things off here. Oh. And a clubbing blow. Two-fisted strike.
Beast doesn't look too keen on giving up that briefcase here tonight.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, Bozeman looking in trouble here early. This is ugly.
A surprising start to this match, given how well Bozeman fared against the upper echelon in that pay-per-view match, but Calvin Abueva off to a hot start.
Bozeman looking to get in some offense of his own here. I mean, he's a guy who can get going really quick. So, you can't allow him the space to get momentum on his side, but it may be too late for Abueva here. And looking for the armbar, it looks like early. Oh, what is this?
Got his arm and leg. Looks like that shoulder was all kinds of twisted, but Abueva able to get out.
And a belly-to-belly suplex. Again, Abueva just asserting the dominance, displaying the power. He's obviously got a size advantage over Bozeman here, and he is reminding everyone what that means. That big power bomb there.
Just all the way from the mat. Power bomb. I think Bozeman's head caught a little bit of the turnbuckle on the way down, too.
Misses the enziguri. My goodness. Abueva came to play tonight.
Stomping a mud hole. Perhaps the Bueva should have booked himself a match with the champ tonight.
Yeah, if he
come
had
out
this kind
hot.
of fire, I don't know what he's doing, wasting his time with someone like Bozeman. But ultimately, that's the thing, you know, if you own this, oh gosh, if you own this briefcase, you have to declare that you're cashing it in. It's not a surprise thing. You have to give a little bit of notice, you know, only a week or whatever, but you do have to declare that you're cashing it in, and he didn't do that, so he missed his shot for this week. And if he retains the briefcase, maybe he'll think to bring this kind of fire when he eventually cashes it in. But I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here because Yasuke Bozeman doesn't look like he's done quite yet.
Yeah, the pinfall attempt from Bueva there. Bozeman was out before he even had a count. So he's taken a lot of offense, but doesn't seem to have bothered him so far. Look at the disrespect there. Kicking a little metaphorical dirt on Bueva.
Oh, stiff kick to the face. And really working the submission here. Maybe a similar angle to what we saw with Garrison Gray. You know, take out the legs of the larger opponent. Really eliminate that size differential. But, man, I don't know. We'll see. Bozeman's also got to worry about the explosiveness that we've seen on display here from Bueva early on.
A big miss on a clothesline there from Bueva. Took him all the way down to the mat. I wonder if he's emptied the gas tank here already.
Yeah, that's a risk you take when you come out this hot. Is that you're going to run out of juice before the match is over? You know, there's a lot of wrestling left, and if Bueva can't keep up, that could spell his doom.
Not looking done just yet. Just tossing.
Oh my
Bozeman
goodness!
around. Going for another cover here. He's got a 2 count this time, but Bozeman kicks out.
With the thumbs down, saying it's over. Here comes that beast bomb.
Bozeman wanting right into the beast bomb. Could be it for Bozeman. Beast going for the cover, center of the ring. 1, 2, and 3. Calvin Bueva retains the Path to Glory briefcase in a decisive fashion.
My goodness. Yeah, I mean, wow. Bueva, you know, he certainly wasn't too happy about having to defend his briefcase so soon, but he certainly made a statement tonight. I think you said it well there. This is not only a statement to Yasuke Bozeman, who had a legitimate claim to the briefcase, but to everyone else in the back who maybe thinks that they could have won the briefcase or could win it off of Bueva. He said, "You're going to have to come through me, and I will give you everything I've got." He came out hard, he came out fast, he came out strong, and he did not let up for an instant. And that was impressive from Bueva.
Well, and if you're Warren Wyndham, you know, I don't know that Wyndham strikes me as the type of person that is sitting in the back concerned, but I bet he was watching this match, and I bet he's thinking a little bit differently about Calvin Bueva following the result of this one. A big showing from the Beast, a decisive retaining of the briefcase, and we'll see if he elects to get something going with the champ in the near future, or if he's going to hang on to that briefcase for a little bit longer. Wait, bide his time, you know, see if he gets something else that he likes a little bit better down the line. But that concludes episode 7 of SWA. Capped off with a big win from Calvin Bueva. We saw GONZO McLovin get us a win in the first match of the night. That machine takedown took out Lucien BADEAUX. PAINWRECKER had a great showing against Merciless Mason Jones. It's tough to remember that was just the 3rd match on the card. It was a really good back and forth, followed up by one of the best matches of the night between Captain Tiger Marsh and KEIJO SANKARI. A big win for Marsh in that one. Hands SANKARI just his 2nd singles loss. the Quinns got back on the right track with a win against Fuerza Mayor and the Boulder. You know, maybe silencing Gorgeous Garrison Gray for the time being.
Well, let's not go that far. I don't think he'll be silenced ever, but certainly,
we can only hope. But that'll conclude it for us on episode 7. We thank you for coming out. We look good. Look forward to seeing you next week, I believe, for episode 8. We'll have more SWA action. And looking forward to getting into a bit more of a rhythm, week-to-week episodes rather than 2 episodes every other week. A little bit back to normal, our planned schedule, perhaps. A little bit back in form. So thanks for coming out. We look forward to seeing you next time, and take it easy.